Yeah, I mean, I think part of the reason for the delay, especially on Bridges, is that the front office was just very focused on the coaching search for a while. And so I think they kind of just were putting things to the side because they were just so preoccupied with the coaching search. And then once the coaching search ended, they were like, all right, we're going to pick things up soon. Um, the Bridges extension stuff is very interesting to me because they can offer him a max extension. To be clear, it's not a max contract. It's the
Hmm.
most they can offer him an extension. 140% of last year's salary can be next year's starting salary. So they can offer him 4 years, $156 million. And the question is, in an environment where OG Anunoby got 50 million more guaranteed, Desmond Bain got way more. Like, does Mikal Bridges want to take that contract? It's ironically the exact same contract as Jalen Brunson signed.
Hmm.
On the other side, the Knicks will really be committing to this team. Like that is a real financial commitment, even if they believe that to be a team friendly number for Mikal Bridges. Because what's going to happen is that is going to guarantee they're jumping into the second apron
Yes.
next year. Now, if you're also not going to let Bridges walk for nothing, so that salary slot is not going to turn into is it's going to turn into something. It is important for the Knicks to maintain that salary slot. Like, let's forget about Bridges as the player
Yeah.
and whatever you think of Bridges, who had a down season during his first year with the Knicks, a I would say unexpectedly down season his first year with the Knicks, in spite of the fact that he had an incredible defensive run during the playoffs, an overall down season. I expect him to have a much better season in year two. I think he will be more comfortable.
Me too.
I think the Thibs fit was not great for him. I think that is probably clear. The Thibs fit was great for some players
Hmm.
and not great for others. And I think he was one of the guys where it just didn't quite work. I thought from a schematic standpoint, I didn't think he ever looked particularly comfortable last year. And from a personality standpoint, I don't think they hated each other. I don't think they were ever quite simpatico. They
Yeah.
weren't quite the
Yeah.
same page. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so I think just that changeover and an extra year of comfort and all of that, I think will help Bridges a lot. And I would bet that he has a much better year this upcoming year than he did last year. That would be my prediction there. If you're the Knicks, though, forget about the player. What's so important if you're a team that's operating over the cap, and if you're a team that's operating over the first apron, like the Knicks are now and did last year, and that's likely to be a second apron team the following year and moving forward, you need to maintain salary slots in order to keep that flexibility because your only way of acquiring other players is by
Right.
already having players making a certain amount of money.
That's right.
And it is going to be incredibly important from a team building standpoint for the Knicks to maintain the salary slot. I'll tell you what, one of the reasons the Knicks made the Bridges deal, the number one reason the Knicks made the Bridges deal is because they wanted Mikal Bridges.
Hmm.
The number two reason the Knicks made the Bridges deal is because they wanted Mikal Bridges. The number three reason they did it is because they wanted Mikal Bridges. But somewhere on the list was also, and this is not speculation, this is
Yeah.
true. Bogdanovich was set to make, what was it, 20 mil, 19 point
Hmm.
something, whatever
Hmm.
it was. And he was on a non guarantee. And the tell that they were trading for someone was guaranteeing Bogdanovich's
That's
contract.
right.
So they were not going to guarantee Bogdanovich's contract if they didn't know they could trade him for someone. But if they had a trade, they were going to guarantee the contract. The reason why was because, and this is on the list for why they traded for Bridges, they wanted to maintain the salary slot.
Salary. Yeah. That's right. That's
They
right.
wanted to maintain keeping that 20-ish million dollar salary on the books because that could help with future flexibility. Because once you lose the salary slot, if you're an over the cap team, I don't need to get into the whole
Hmm.
thing, but
Hmm.
once you lose that salary slot, like you lose that. You're done. Like now that's one more guy who you can't trade $20 million to bring in more money.
Right.
And so, in order to flip Bogdanovich for someone who was actually worth that money, who they deemed worth that money in Bridges, they were able to, on top of getting Mikal Bridges, they were able to maintain the Bogdanovich salary slot, which was previously the Evan Fournier salary slot.
Yeah.
It was why picking up Evan Fournier's team option was like under consideration when they had Evan Fournier. And I don't think they were going to do it for nothing, but they were going to do it if they could find something for Fournier. It was something that was legitimately discussed. It was like, should we just pick up the Fournier team option even though he doesn't play if we're unable to trade him? They had the same conversation the previous summer about Derrick Rose when he had a $15 million team option. They ended up declining it because, like they would have done if they hadn't found the Bridges trade with Bogdanovich, they were like, we can't house a $15 million salary for someone who doesn't play. We can't justify that, and it's going to drive us to being too expensive, and we can't do it. But they had the conversation. Do we just pick up the $15 million team option for Derrick Rose? Like, that was under consideration. And maintaining that salary slot is very important. That is a way that they operate strategically as an organization. And that comes into play with extensions because that helps you maintain the salary slot, just being able to lock up a guy for the long term. And we've seen the Knicks, we've seen how they value extensions because whenever they don't agree to somebody with an extension, what happens?
Yeah, they're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Julius Randle,
Out of there.
Manuel Quickley,
Yeah, yeah.
Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin, they just knew they weren't going to extend, so they traded him. Like if they thought they were going to extend him, that trade wouldn't have happened the way that it did.
You're right.
And it wouldn't happen in the timing that it did. That's their philosophy. And so they want to maintain that salary slot. So I think the Knicks will do all they can to try to extend Mikal Bridges, and then we'll see exactly how Bridges feels about it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Number one, especially with the salary slot, but number two, I get people like, oh, you can't go with the sunk cost fallacy. I think they need him. Unless they can upgrade. I don't know what the Giannis situation is going to be looking like a year from now, but until then, you need him, and you need to hope that Mike Brown can be the anti-Thibs, where you're getting a little bit more out of Mikal Bridges. Is it adjusting his defensive role? How is his offensive role going to look? How are the lineups going to be staggered to get the most out of him? I still think there's something there. More there. I'm not saying he's a nothing player. I think he's a good player. I like Mikal Bridges. I wanted them to draft Mikal Bridges in the 2017 draft. They went with Kevin Knox. It was a terrible idea. So I just think there's still more there, which to me is going to be a worthwhile investment if, and hopefully, he gives him a little bit of a deal. He's got to talk to Cap, and he's got to come back to the pack a little bit and take a little bit of a sacrifice.